Hello and welcome to another episode of Gear Toward Gear. My name is Sean and I am so glad you're here. Today we're talking about a pen, and it is an awesome pen. It is a fountain pen. I know nothing about fountain pens. If you're into fountain pens, I'm going to probably sound like an idiot, but I am not into fountain pens. Never have been. I've always been a ballpoint guy. Don't like gel pens, don't like fountain pens. But a friend of the channel and a subscriber named Barry said, Sean, you need to experience a fountain pen. And I resisted. I said, Barry, no, I can't do it. I got my Zebra 701s and my ballpoints, and that's me. That's how I roll. I roll with a ballpoint. And he said, no, you need to try a fountain pen. And just so happened that around Black Friday, a company called the Goulet Pen Company was having a Black Friday sale. And Barry sent me a message through YouTube and said, Sean, check out this sale. It's going to blow your mind. And it basically did. And so I'm really here to tell you, actually this video is just for Barry. And it's to say, Barry, I hate you, because I love this pen. This is the Pilot Metropolitan, and it is fantastic. And there's some other things on the table that all came in one kit that's just equally as fantastic. So you can buy all these products individually on Amazon, but I bought them as a kit. They call it the First Timer Kit, and I'll leave a link to the Goulet Pen Company's website where I bought this specific kit. It goes for $27. Yes, you heard me correctly. $27 for this gorgeous fountain pen, this very high quality notepad. This is the box that the pen came in. Nice packaging there. Nice little presentation with the pen, plus a dozen replacement ink cartridges. And these are high quality Japanese made cartridges made specifically for Pilot pens, in this case the Pilot Metropolitan. And the Pilot Metropolitan is also a Japanese made pen. We'll see right there, Pilot Japan. And it also comes with, this is called an ink converter. And my understanding is that an ink converter, and I'll show you one of the cartridges here in a second. This is if you want to get a little further into your fountain pen journey and use bottled ink. You would use an ink converter to be able to put bottled ink, your own ink, into this pen and not use the kind of pre-filled cartridges. I don't know that I'm going to use this. I kind of doubt it. I hope I don't use this, because if I use this, that means I have dove just very much headfirst into the fountain pen world, and I frankly don't know if I'm ready for that, guys. So let me know if you're into fountain pens, if you know of any good budget fountain pens. Please don't leave any links or recommendations for fountain pens that are expensive, because, you know, I lack self-control sometimes, and I just don't want to start something that I can't stop. So let me show you one of the cartridges real quick. So this package of refills there's 12 of them, and it comes with 12. The pen itself comes with one plus the converter. So technically you get 13 cartridges plus the converter. I've already put an ink cartridge in here. And to do that, you simply would unscrew your pen here. Let's take that off. You'd unscrew the pen, and there's your cartridge. And essentially what happens is there is a piece inside the pen that when you insert the cartridge, it punctures the actual cartridge and allows the ink to flow through the nib, which is what that's called. I think the silver part with the that does the writing is called the nib. Again, if you're a fountain pen nerd, which if you are, I mad respect. Don't judge me too hard. But yeah, so that's how you replace the cartridges. Super easy. Like, it was very intuitive. Within 30 seconds of taking it out of the package, I was writing with this pen, and does it write beautifully? Yes, it does. It writes so well. So $27 for the whole kit I thought was a phenomenal deal. And the cap is designed in such a way that it's got sort of a gasket in here. You're not going to be able to see it, but it is able to be connected to the back of the pen. If we get in close here on sort of the business end, we'll see kind of this polished plastic grip area, which is actually comfortable because it flares out just a little bit. You see that? And so my fingers can't slide any further that direction. That's kind of as far as they can go because of that little flare. So it's far more comfortable than I thought it would be. And so here's the thing. I don't know. This is like the worst pen review ever. I don't know exactly how this works because my initial thought was that the ink would flow through those little channels, and I would be able to see the ink. So bear with me here. If you're not a fountain pen person, do you see any ink anywhere? The very, very tip of that metal, I don't know what that is. What the hell? Okay, that was ink. So I got ink on me somehow. The very tip is what actually touches the paper and writes. I don't see any ink there. Do you? I don't. It looks like there's no ink anywhere. But if I open this pad of paper, which this is super high quality paper, it's made in France. How does that happen? Is it magic? Ink is coming from somewhere and it's making it to that point. And I don't know exactly the science behind that because I can't physically see the ink. I think it may be coming down this little channel here in such a way that you just can't physically see it. But to me, it's like a magic pen because it's just not... I don't know how it works, but it writes like a dream. It really is a super satisfying experience to write with a fountain pen, and that's what I had been told. I resisted it. I didn't believe it. I said it's all a hoax, just like the moon landing. It never happened. Fountain pens, there's nothing to it. It's all a myth. And of course, the moon landing did happen. My favorite scene, by the way, in the movie Dumb and Dumber is when Lloyd Christmas, played by Jim Carrey, is walking out of the bar and he sees the newspaper on the wall about the moon landing, and like he thinks it just happened, and he's like, "We landed on the moon." Anyway, so this thing writes unbelievably well. So I'm gonna do maybe I shouldn't do my signature. I'm just gonna write Pilot. Pilot Metropolitan. And what's great about this is it's a fine nib, so it can get really, really fine. But it's almost like the harder you press, the thicker it gets. So if you want a finer line, you just kind of don't press quite as hard. But it's smooth as butter. That's the first part of my signature. You can see that. It's just, I don't know. It's just smooth as butter, and it's so satisfying to write with. And I understand now why people say fountain pens are fantastic, because it's a pleasure to write with. It really is a pleasure to write with. It's unlike any other pen that I've written with. And this is a budget fountain pen. Again, we're talking $27 for the entire kit. I think if you buy just this pen on Amazon, it's like $22 or $23. So to get the whole kit with the refills and the high quality paper here, it's a pretty good deal, because this notepad goes for about $8. So that's about $30 right there, plus the refills. So the first timer kit is definitely a good value. And the company is Goulet, spelled like such. The Goulet Pen Company. And again, links will be below. But I'm a believer. I'm going to try to just enjoy this one. And I love that matte black finish. It looks so nice. It just looks classy, but it also doesn't look... and I think this is another thing I really appreciate about this particular pen, is it does not look gaudy in your face like, hey, look at me, I've got a fountain pen, all you idiots with your ballpoints. It's not like a pretentious pen. And not that there's anything wrong with a $500, fountain pen with a golden nib, but this is just, it's a utilitarian fountain pen is kind of how I look at this. It's your average Joe's fountain pen. And I think it's excellent. So I'm a fountain pen guy, I guess, and that's dangerous. So again, no recommendations unless it's like $30 or under. or $20 would be even better, because I don't want to get into expensive fountain pens. And to be honest, I don't write enough, like hand write enough to really justify it. But I do take notes during work, during conference calls, and I do prefer to do that with pen and paper. And I did just order some more paper, some more notepads from the same company, Rhodia. I am going to say that's how it's pronounced, made in France. And the ones that I ordered are 5x7, I believe, and they are spiral bound. That's my preference. I'm not a huge fan of this style of notepad, but the fact that it's included with the kit is pretty awesome. So yeah, the Pilot Metropolitan, I can confidently say, is just a pleasure to write with. And if you're looking for just a nice pen in general, even especially as a gift, this would make a great gift, just because the way it's kind of presented. It looks nice, it functions well, and I don't have a negative thing to say about it other than I'm scared that I'm gonna like fountain pens too much. So Barry, again, this video is really just for you to say I hate you, but thank you for telling me about the sale and educating me, because Barry did take a lot of time in some conversations to educate me on fountain pens. And I learned a lot. So thank you, Barry, for that. I really, truly do appreciate it. So if you want to learn more about fountain pens, do not ask me any questions in the comments. But if you do have any questions about fountain pens, put them in the comments, because I think there's probably people watching who've maybe been laughing through this whole video because I'm such a noob when it comes to fountain pens. And maybe Barry can come to the rescue and answer some of those questions, because he's a pretty wise man, and he knows his fountain pens. So that is it. The Pilot Metropolitan, a Japanese-made fountain pen that I think is just fantastic, and I thought you might think so as well. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. I will talk to you soon.